and welcome to Ace Linguistics. This channel is about all things linguistic. So let's see what we've got today. Nasal sounds across the world's languages. Welcome back to Ace Linguistics. Try saying Feel the vibration in your nose. That's a nasal sound. But did you know some languages use dozens of nasal sounds while others hardly use any? What are nasal sounds? In English, the most common nasal sounds are m as in man, n as in no, and ng as in sing. These are called nasal stops because the airflow is blocked in the mouth but escapes through the nose. Understanding nasal sounds, a step-by-step explanation. The fundamental mechanism, airflow direction. Nasal sounds are produced when air flows through the nose rather than just the mouth. This crucial redirection of airflow happens because the velum, also known as the soft palate, is lowered. When the velum is lowered, it opens the velopharyngeal port, creating a passage to the nasal cavity and allowing air to escape through the nostrils. Vocal tract pathway for nasal sounds. The vocal tract is a collective term for the cavities above the glottis. The pharynx, the throat, the oral cavity, mouth, and the nasal cavity, nose. This entire pathway is where vocalization occurs. For speech, air is expelled from the lungs, the pulmonic aggressive airstream mechanism, which is used for all English sounds and most sounds in the world's languages. When producing a nasal sound, this airstream travels from the lungs up the trachea, through the larynx, and into the pharynx. From the top of the pharynx, the lowered velum then directs the air into the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity itself cannot be modified in size or shape. Unlike the oral cavity, it is filled with complex structure called conchae that absorb sound at certain frequencies. Oral versus nasal sounds, the velum's role as a valve. The velum acts like a valve, controlling whether air flows through the nose or only the mouth. For oral speech sounds, which include most vowels and consonants in English and other languages, the velum is typically raised or closed, forming a V-like closure against the back wall of the pharynx. This directs all the air exclusively through the oral cavity, preventing access to the nasal cavity. Examples of oral sounds include plosives, fricatives, and approximants. In contrast, for nasal sounds, the velum is lowered or open, allowing air to flow through the nasal cavity. Nasal sounds are categorized primarily by whether airflow through the oral cavity is also blocked and whether voicing is present. Nasal consonants, often called nasal stops. These are produced with a complete closure in the oral cavity, that is, by the lips or the tongue against the roof of the mouth, while the velum is lowered. Because the oral passage is completely blocked, the air cannot escape through the mouth and instead flows exclusively through the nose. In English, the most common nasal consonants are m as in man or mummy, produced with bilabial closure, meaning the lips come together, n as in no or none, produced with an alveolar closure, meaning the tongue tip and sides press against the alveolar ridge. Ng as in sing or thinking, produced with the velar closure, meaning the back of the tongue presses up against the velum. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and check our playlist on phonetics for more.